Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone had a restful night. So I'll be sharing this morning about vector control in Papua New Guinea with a particular focus on providing updates of the NatNat project on what has been done so far, and also to shed some light on NatNat 2.0, which we are really grateful for IVCC for continued funding. Now, PNG currently holds the gold medal for having the highest burden of malaria in the Western Pacific, with long-lasting insecticidal nets, or LLINs, being the only current vector control tool in PNG since it was introduced in 2009, with almost 2 million LLINs being distributed per year. Now, it has been over a decade since the introduction of mass distribution of LLINs, yet our vectors remain susceptible to the LLINs that are being distributed. However, PNG is currently facing challenges related to vector control, which includes the change in biting behavior, as Charles from the Solomon Islands has alluded yesterday as well, and also the distribution of suboptimal nets as of 2014. Now, we believe that the lack of additional vector control tools has led to an increase in the malaria cases over the last couple of years. And elimination of malaria in PNG cannot rely on a single vector control approach, and additional complementary vector control tools are needed to achieve and sustain the reduction in malaria in PNG. Now, the NatNat project addressed this need of having additional vector control tools by investigating priority vector control tools to provide evidence for our government to be able to implement this in PNG. And the vector control tools that were investigated by the NatNat project include residual spraying, larval source management, spatial emanators, all to complement the current LLINs that are currently being used in PNG. Now, the overall aim of the NatNat project is to strengthen laboratory and semi-field and field capacity to test new vector control tools in PNG, and number two, to conduct rigorous field evaluations of new vector control tools, and number three, to investigate the community and health system acceptability and cost analysis of vector control tools, and also to support the National Malaria Control Program led formal network in PNG. Now, I'll be only speaking on objectives 1, 2, and 4. So under the objective 1, the NatNat project extended or built a facility within PNG IMR to extend the laboratory, entomology laboratory facilities, and to establish a semi-field testing site. And as you can see in the picture, it was a huge work where we had to dig up a swampy area and then backfill it before any construction could have been done on the land. And here we have the Belna NatNat Center, or the Mosquito Research Facility. And NatNat being Tokpisin version, Tokpisin language, in our language, it's Tokpisin for mosquito. And not only the project, but it's colloquial language for mosquito. So we have successfully built a mosquito tunnel cage to perform various experiments in there, and then also a new insectary. And this building was inaugurated by our director with a representative from the National Health Ministry, and also with a representative from the National Malaria Control Program, with late Leo Makita there, and Fred from IVCC. And after the construction, we shifted our insectary from our old insectary to the new insectary, where we rear Anopheles faraudi mosquitoes. And from the mosquitoes, we conduct bioefficacy testing, or cone bioefficacy tests on our lions that are currently being distributed within PNG. And also we conducted spatial emanator tests in our tunnel cages. And also we built a prototype on the same piece of land, and once we were satisfied, we transferred the design to a village where we had a scoping, where we scoped the village out and talked with the community and asked if they were willing to have us set up our huts there. And once they were willing, we cleared the area and we successfully built 3 huts already, and we did some initial testing in those huts. Now, within the second aim of the study, we conducted a small-scale field-based evaluation of residual spraying with Flodora fusion in Madang. And this study was piloted in 4 villages along the north coast of PNG, 2 villages along the coast and 2 a bit inland. And we used 2 as control, 1 in the coastal and 1 inland as control, and the other 2 as spray targets. And we achieved over 85% indoor, 85% coverage with indoor and protected outdoor surface spraying. And we did a monthly vector and malaria monitoring in over 12 months, pre and post the spray. And we observed a 3-fold reduction in the indoor biting rate and a 30% reduction in the outdoor biting rate. And as expected, we observed a rapid decline in the efficacy of spraying outdoors as compared to indoors. And we also monitored like our spray operators, and most of them were spraying within the desired concentration of that were expected concentration. Also, under the same objective, we conducted larviciding studies where the objective was to evaluate the efficacy and acceptability of larvicide products to reduce Anopheles mosquitoes and larval abundance in PNG, and also spatial emanator studies to evaluate the efficacy and acceptability of the spatial emanator devices in order to reduce mosquito biting outdoors and indoors in village in PNG setting. Now the spatial emanators were conducted, the studies to investigate the spatial emanators were conducted in the tunnel chambers, the newly built huts, and also in a village. So in a village we conducted a pilot study in 2 villages with the spatial emanators placed indoors only, outdoors, or indoors and outdoors, with weekly monitoring of the houses. And we observed a good initial protection up to 80%, but then the efficacy waned over time with lower level of protections observed outdoors as expected. And under the 4th objective of supporting the National Malaria Control Program, the NatNat team initiated the residual master spraying trainers course in PacMOSSI in 2020. And then this was followed by a refresher training for the small-scale field study in Madang in 2021. And then in 2023, we did a pilot study for the IRS implementation in one of our provinces, where we partnered with the New Island Provincial Health Authority, with NatNat and RAM providing funding and technical inputs on the program. Also, under the 4th objective, the National Malaria Control Program and the NatNat project convened a vector control network workshop in 2023 with 35 and 50 attendees attending. And the attendees were from various backgrounds, from the national, provincial, private, or NGO, or research partners. And the aim of the vector control network was to foster knowledge sharing and resource leveraging, and to advocate for greater investment in the vector control space in PNG. And also we appointed 6 representatives from the vector control network to lead the team. Now, moving onwards to NatNat 2.0, the objectives of NatNat 2.0 is to generate evidence on the entomological and spatial emanators and the effectiveness and feasibility of this as a complementary vector intervention to accelerate vector-borne diseases control in PNG, and also to conduct rigorous semi-field studies on the facilities that were built, and also to implement quality management system where we are trying to get ourselves internationally, get our recently built facilities internationally recognized, and have our SOPs also being approved by international standards, and also to strengthen partnerships with vector control stakeholders to drive access and uptake of the impact of vector control tools through the vector control network, and also to establish an Aedes colony with an insecticide-resistant colony as well. And finally, to disseminate evidence of residual spraying in PNG in order to discuss the implementation of our residual spraying as a complementary vector tool for PNG and the region. And this work wouldn't have been possible without the help and support of our partners, the Department of Health with the National Malaria Control Program, James Cook University, the Burnett Institute, the Rotary Against Malaria, and funding from IVCC and the Australian government through the Center for Health Security, and also the hardworking staff of PNG IMR. Thank you so much.